In this video we do an extended demonstration of the dialog component in version 11 and how the dialog and grid can be used together. So let's start out, and we're going to create a new dialog, and we're going to use one of the existing templates that come with version 11. We're going to use this customer template that allows you to enter a customer with multiple addresses for each customer. So the dialog builds the component for us, and you can see here we have the customer in the header part of the dialog, and then we have a repeating section showing the multiple invoices. So let's go ahead now and save this. And now for the next step, we're going to go now and bind this dialog to a database. So we'll go to data binding, and we'll specify bind the dialog. Actually what we want to do is, we don't currently even have tables in the database. We want to go now first and make tables that match the controls on this dialog. So we'll go there and we'll say, so step 1 is give an alias. So we'll go there and we'll call this customer header, and then over here we'll go and give this an alias, and we'll call this customer address. So now we've got two aliases, one called customer header, one called customer alias. Now let's specify how the customer address alias is linked. So we're going to link it on the customer ID field over there. Now we need to specify for each alias for what the fields are that need to be created. So let's go here and select all these fields in one go and set these to say 40 characters. And then let's go to container number 2 over there, and then go here and set all of these fields to say 40 characters. It really doesn't matter what number we choose. So now we've defined how each field in the dialog is mapped to a field in the corresponding table, and what the size of that field will be. So now we're going to go here and define the connection string. So we want to create SQL tables. We could just as easily have created DBF tables. So I'm going to go there now and specify a connection string, and I'm going to choose this connection there called my demo database, which is a MySQL database that has no tables in it right now, and I can see that by going over to that database in Navicat. So you can see here in Navicat there are currently no tables in this database. So we're going to go there and say that the customer header, we'd like the table to be called customer header. There's no requirement that the table have the same name as the alias. And we'll go there and we'll type in customer address, and now we can go on to step 3 and actually create the tables. So we click the button and the two tables are created. And if I go now back to Navicat and do a refresh, what I should see here. So here we are in Navicat, and I see the two new tables that were created. So now I'm going to click OK to close this, and now I'm going to go back to the dialog. And what I'd like to do now is when the user clicks the submit button, I'd like to actually do data entry into the dialog. So right now when I click this submit button, the dialog is going to be submitted, but there's no code yet that exists in the dialog. You can see if we look at the code here, we're calling the dialog submit button. So this button was put on automatically for us when we created the new dialog. But when we go to the server-side event and we look at the after dialog validate event, we see that there's currently no code in this event. So what we'd like to do now is actually save the record to the tables when the user presses the submit button. So we're going to use action scripting to write the code for us. Of course, if we were ambitious, we could write the code ourselves. So let's pause now and pick this up in the next video.